Stop Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crime for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us.
You Gabriel had to go see to the main store.
Oh, so the man wanted for you to go steal from the web post store.
Yeah. He said, I'm joining to go see to the women store to they get money into the store. They will go take it from there. I said, my man, how many bars for the same leisure?
Then how can the police catch you now?
The police people. Before the man called me back, I was on the 18th. They more.
The same man now?
Yeah, the same man.
The same man who want for you to go steal?
Yeah, he called me on the 18th.
Yeah.
Now in the night, around about 8:30, the man called me. He said, oh, my man, I'll let you be there and call you back again.
So that time you go to work?
I go to work.
You live for a working place, you come to the man?
Yeah, I'm from to my working area to Clarence to now go to the man.
To go steal now?
No, I'm not go steal. I go to yeah. How you question me? The thing you want for me to explain for you to understand, then you still questioning me, doubling the question. How many talk clear now?
Okay, go now. I beg you, sorry.
I see.
When they call you in the night,
when they call me in the night, he asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
You told the message you're 3.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea to carry to
the message you want to give you what tea?
Tea. Hot milk tea.
Oh, milk tea?
Yeah.
For you to drink?
With bread.
The bread.
3 pieces of full bread.
With egg inside?
With egg inside my butter. So when I carry it to the man, say carry it to the man. When you give it to the man, then you must come back to the car.
So the food man give you now, you carry it so you can go convince your friend now.
Yeah. When I give it to the man say thank you. I say okay. The man say, oh, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going right car. So one of my friends called me.
Yeah, the same man you going to now.
Yeah, the same man.
And the man tell you say he want for you to go steal.
No, yeah. So when I go to the man he say clean the car. Then they are 2 now.
In a jeep.
Then they are 2.
A big jeep.
Yeah.
Black
BG, photo G. Yeah. So when I clean the car now,
air condition all inside.
No, Papi, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave the water now. You can judge people.
I just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people that can come here.
No, I'm a journalist. I beg you, sorry.
The way you talk in the question, you say when I move from here, I'll free. You say when I move from here, I'll free. You say one talk again. I wanted to make a whole talk clear to you, but you double in the question. Hi, land looking, hi looking. Then you want force another more word there again. Where? Not be looking to the top. I'm not going to again. And said they call me to the office of OSP.
I think you explained to me that you come to get paid. You say you get the tea to the man. After you get the tea to the man, you come now. So what next now?
For me, I'll not fair.
Nobody, you getting there. You say asking you too much question. Hey, there's me things. Say make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Now I say sorry now. Okay, sorry.
If you
I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give you answer now, then you.
Okay. Explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, let's go now.
Go to school. The English say I need the English.
Okay, sorry. That was sorry now. Sorry.
Say Ali, you take time. You take time.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Say I can take time
to explain. Yeah, okay.
I would not know if it's wrong, but one thing that I was not able to accomplish that I wanted to accomplish was after the war, the Liberian people elected me, and in fact, the Liberian people elected me to unite the country. I was not able to get some of the other factional leaders to return to Liberia. I was not able to get one or two of the political leaders to return. And I think they helped to provoke the situation. I was able to do a whole lot. Strangely, the LPC, these were all warring factions, and all of the other warring factions, I was able to bring them into government. In fact, most of the combatants that fought for the government during the war were the combatants of the warring factions that fought against me. So I accomplished bringing them together. I accomplished making sure that the issue of tribalism went away in Liberia. But I mean, to a great extent, I think most Liberians now, if you went to Liberia and took a poll, they would say Mr. Taylor did his best. Any other regrets? The second regret is that I was never able to get the United States to understand me. I was never able to get them to work with me, which is so essential for Liberia. No president of Liberia, no president can make it successfully unless he is online with Washington. Now, I'm not the type of guy that you can pick up a telephone and command. I don't take that. I didn't take that from Washington. Then, even if I were elected president, I would not take it. I'm not that kind. I'm not a coward. Now, if you went to Liberia and took a poll, they would say Mr. Taylor did his best. Any other regrets? The second regret is that I was never able to get the United States to understand me. I was never able to get them to work with me, which is so essential for Liberia. No president of Liberia, no president can make it successfully unless he is online with Washington. Now, I'm not the type of guy that you can pick up a telephone and command. I don't take that. I didn't take that from Washington. Then, even if I were elected president, I would not take it. I'm not that kind. I'm not a coward. But I do believe that a good working relationship is essential for any president of Liberia or that president will fit.
They said they were freedom fighters. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they killed their crown, they changed their mind. When they killed their crown, they changed their mind. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters. You freedom fighter, you raping our women. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you killing our children. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you destroying our.
I know yesterday a former rebel general said to me, Austin, the song you and Abu can play in the morning as a team song, you will not understand. Because probably you guys were small during the war or inexperienced to understand the issues. He said, do you hear you can always say Bob Barnes? He said you're asking the meaning of that thing. But I am not interested in the meaning of his Bob Barnes theory.
When they were coming, they said they were liberators. When they were coming, they
Good morning, Liberia.
but when they killed their crown,
And let me say a very, very pleasant good morning to all of you across the country.
they changed their mind. What
Good morning to those of you in the diaspora, our friends, our fans,
you freedom
our followers, our critics,
you freedom fighter.
and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them.
You destroy now.
It's good to have all of you joining us this morning on Freedom Morning Rise on 87.9. Good morning, welcome to another edition This is Freedom FM. My name is Austin Kawa. I'm here alongside Abu Sharif, and together we are your drivers. Straight up to 10 o'clock this morning. Every morning, this platform belongs to the Liberian people. It is a place where leaders explain their decisions. We allow institutions account for their actions, and where citizens find answers to the questions that matter the most. Oh yes, our democracy grows stronger when public officials engage openly with the people they serve. Accountability should never be mistaken for hostility. Oh, those guys that do hostile in the way they engage in their leaders. Some see difficult questions. Some view difficult questions as personal attacks. But these are simply the price public officials have to pay. Some say it is the price of public service. You have to be subjected to critical reviews, critical analysis, critical scrutinies. A lot to talk about this morning. Very shortly, we speak with the Director of Press and Public Affairs at the House of Representatives. We should have spoken with him at 9 o'clock, but we just been told that he is transiting from Benghazi to Tripoli. Oh, Ambassador Haynes. So we have to talk to him. We have to adjust our schedule to grant him the opportunity to ask or answer the questions we have for him this morning. And then we can move into other issues, including we have a diplomatic analysis and commentary here for you this morning. We keep passing over this EU thing versus Liberia. Today we close the week with this matter. Yeah, we'll not welcome all of you this morning by calling your names on our Facebook live feed. Or probably we'll do that after our interview with Robert Haynes. Let's take a brief break to take a word from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. And when we return from our break, obviously we can go into our discussion with Robert Haynes, Director Haynes, Ambassador Haynes.
I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we have seen in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion. Recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Simon.
We want peace in Liberia, peace in Monrovia. We want peace in Liberia.
Good morning, Liberia. Good morning, just wherever you are this morning. Pleasant way. Of course, I'd like to welcome you from my end. And so, yes, indeed, this is the Freedom Money Rise, Liberia's most informative breakfast conversation. And it's always a good thing to have you join us. My name is Abu Sharif, as you know it. And so, just like you heard the menu, we're well prepared to engage this morning. I think our man. So, I know Robert, the ambassador now. Congratulations, my dear friend. But Robert is going to be joining us, of course. Yes, he went through the walls of the Foreign Service Institute, but it's possible. Probably he's gotten some placement. Comrade, good morning, my man. Welcome.
Dear brother, how you doing?
Yeah, my man, minding my business, and of course, God has been minding us. How's your end?
Grateful to God Almighty for continuously pumping the breath of life in us. We are grateful to be on earth to do what we can do for our country and fellow mankind.
And Robert is the Public Affairs Director at the Honorable House of Representatives, 55th, right? And so Robert is going to be talking us through some of the activities, as you may know it, and of course, that's what we've brought. So, Robert, just how do you like to begin the conversation, particularly just summarizing on some of the major activities there with respect to the House of Representatives?
Well, again, I want to say thank you to you and your team for the great work you're doing at the radio station. It's nothing easy to wake up early in the morning, as early as 3:30, 4 o'clock, to get prepared and make your way, make your research and get on the radio. It's nothing easy to do that every day from Monday to Friday or so like that. But it's a great thing. The Honorable House of Representatives of the Republic of Liberia is doing very well. That place is not a church. There will always be difference of views, but at the end of the day, Liberia matters in all of what we do and say. And so at the House, we have a couple of things happening. The delegation have left the country to attend the Asian African Parliamentary Council, second in a series of a conference being held here in Benghazi, Libya. That has been taking place since. We have concluded already basically to look at Africa and Asia, seeing our population and then looking at issue on the global stage. So that has been going on here, a delegation being headed by the chairperson of the House Committee on Judiciary, the Right Honorable Johnson S.N. Williams Sr., on the heading the delegation. Also on the delegation is the chairperson on Commerce and Industry, Nima County District 1 Representative Honorable Sam Brown. And we also have Honorable Warity, Mustafa Warity. We have the Deputy Chief of Office Staff in the Office of the Speaker and the Director of Press, Robert Haynes, on this delegation. It's been running very well. A meeting with our schools of Asian Africans. It's been going good.
What does the Liberian legislature or Liberia as a country stand to benefit or gain out of those engagements?
Well, Liberia stands to benefit basically looking at our region, looking at the continent Africa. As a matter of fact, knowing that Liberia plays a pivotal role at the United Nations General Assembly, being part of being elected in 2025 on the United Nations non-permanent member of the UN Security Council. So, yes, at that stage, what the debate on the global stage is African population, that of Asia population, if it were to come together, meaning that they're opting to basically see whether or not just for us not having a non-permanent seat, but to be having permanent seats, as a matter of fact, both Africa and that of Asia. So these are conversations on a global stage coming up. But as it is, we, Liberia, be a member of being elected as a non-permanent member on the UN Security Council, we of course have a fish to fry in all of this. That's why we've been invited, all of them.
So, what role does the legislature play in that, especially looking at that conversation being heavily at the diplomatic level, which will most likely come from the angle of the executive, but to see legislators from Africa and Asia meeting to trigger conversations around putting their respective continent to the position of a permanent seat on the UN Security Council. I mean, you care to tell us what role, particularly specifically, that legislators will obviously have to play when it should be coming from the executive through the different Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the different permanent representative at the UN by different nations?
So at this stage, it is parliamentary. That's what, as I intimated clearly, that is the AAPC, which is the Asian Africa Parliamentary Conference. And so it starts first from the parliamentary level. Because mind you, at the level of the United Nations, these things are legislated. They basically look at in a way where, of course, yes, when you hear UN General Assembly, it come out just from the opening of it. Then people go into parliamentary discussion. That's the reason why most of these things are being done. They come from the end of from a parliamentary standpoint. And so, yes, first, the African continent and that of the Asian continent thought that, look, let's have it as this, where a conversation will be initiated, and then we see at a level where, of course, yes, at the UN General Assembly, they talk about parliamentary issues. And so, when it's being put forth, every member country, people refer to home and be able to have it as part of their agenda item, and they look at it from a global perspective.
Okay, let me ask you this, and then Austin can come in. Initially, when you began your discussion, you said the legislature isn't your church. I was interested in understanding what do you mean by that, especially looking at the moral compass by which citizens judge the activities and actions of our lawmakers and people representing the interests of our country as the spokesperson, or if you made a public affairs director, saying that the legislature is not a house. What message are you trying to send out?
Well, basically, I'm saying that there are going to be difference of views, and so it's not where, because mind you, we are 73 members. You have 73 members from different standpoint, different idea, or different school of thought, and so when they converge, they come to discuss issues about the Republic of Liberia. And as a matter of fact, and that's why I said to you earlier that the legislature is not a church. All right. So there will always be difference of views on how things are being brought forth on the fire burner or on the agenda to be discussed. There will be difference of views. People will talk about people among you, 73 members. They have different points and to raise, and that's what I said earlier. It's not a church. Of course, if you're a church goer, I know you go to the mosque anyway. I go to church. When you go to the church, when the pastor preach or when the imam say, I'm not an imam person, but when the pastor say praise the Lord, everybody say amen. And therefore, amen is concurrence. I mean, you're in agreement. So yes, but people will disagree when the debate comes.
So that means that doesn't happen at the house. Everybody is not moved in one direction. Is that what you're trying to say?
Absolutely, everybody's not moving one direction. Difference of views. People
even though lawmakers are being suspended, threatening removal, and some have even been removed because of the difference in opinions. And then an executive official has lost his job, an ambassador lost his job because he had a different opinion about the legislature. And you are telling me that the legislature as it is respect opinions, and it's not like the church when you say hallelujah, everybody says amen, but it looks clearly in the public that that's exactly what you're preaching there.
No, absolutely not. Let me say this to you. If an ambassador, first I know that you had some time when I was there too. Before we had some time to go to one place called the Gabriel Elder Foreign Service Institute. So when you learn about foreign service, when you learn about diplomacy,
but let's begin with the expulsion and threat of suspension and all of this about your members before we talk about Gabriel L. Dennis or the ambassador.
No, because you brought in an ambassador.
Yeah, but I want us to begin with that one. I want us to begin with that one because you said they're not church. You don't do hallelujah, everybody follows suit. But then why are members of the House at the same time being expelled and others being threatened expulsion and of course some being suspended with their salaries withheld, and simply because they have preferred differing opinions to that of the Speaker or other members of the House.
So in the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives, is a rule-based house. I don't know if you have some time to cover it, but I know that some of our friends who had the time to cover the legislature, they may not be abreast to all of the activities. Of course, it's our work to do to inform the public, and I want to thank you for giving us the time to explain this. Now, the house is a rule-based house. If you violate our rules provides that you've been submitted to the Committee on Rules and Administration so that you're able to explain yourself owing to what is it that probably a complaint is being complaint come forth, and then you applying everything. It's a decision to have you go before the Committee on Rules and Order. When that conversation started about, the Rules and Order Committee will invite you. When you've been invited, they will ask you. And it's open up to the press, media people there to cover you up. It's a committee, but it's not held behind closed door.
Okay, let Austin come and cover it. I'll pick up later. But anyway, you try.
So what's happening?
Hello?
No.
Hello?
Okay, all right. Better now. Go ahead. Hence, are you getting us?
Yes, I'm getting you guys very crystal clear.
Okay, good. We're good. So Austin will just come in, and I will come back later. You know, there are a lot of things we can talk about the legislature. It's good that you found time this morning, and hope when you come back, we can do an in-studio as well.
This mic is not going through. Okay, Robert, it's good again to have you joining us this morning on the show. You've always been available whenever we call you. And we must indicate that you are a legislative partner to the show. Pretty soon, we might just be hiring you or asking your service here as legislative consultant to Freedom Money Rise.
Yeah, thank you. But this is what we signed up for, Austin. Come to public service. We owe it to the public to inform the public about the working of the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives, which is the deputies of the people.
Now, I'd like to begin on this note. You know, there are many Liberians who believe that the legislature has become increasingly disconnected from the people, you know, the daily struggles of the ordinary people and all of that. I'm concerned, how does the House intend to rebuild public confidence? People believe that the public doesn't have any confidence in the work you do.
Now, Austin, let me say this to you. Perception in theory is deceptive. And the legislature, under the gavel of House Speaker Richard Nangbe-Kum, is very open to informing the public on a daily basis about our workings. We are not in hating with anything about the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives. And that's the reason why this is a commitment to the public and a reassurance to the public that we do all we can to make sure that the interests of the people matters in all of what we do and say. And so, in terms of buying public, the reassurance, in terms of maybe you're talking about confidence, the public should know that as it is in the legislature, we know, I can always say this: members of the House are not only present to be all over at the same time. That's the reason why people get the right, according to our Constitution, to petition the lawmakers. Because you see, at any point in time, anything will be happening somewhere else. That lawmaker of that district may not be there. But when it's being brought to his attention, he takes it to plenary, or it comes about like that. But I can say this clear cut as a spokesperson that the legislature, under the gavel of Speaker Kum, is doing extraordinarily well in terms of making sure that the openness to the public is being done.
So
now,
Mr. Director, my question was not actually about the presence of the legislature, probably, or the legislators in their constituencies. It was actually about the decisions that you make in plenary that are supposed to reflect the interest of the citizens. They seem not to have confidence in you anymore, that you act on your own, in your interest.
The public does have. Let me say this. And sometimes, of course, it's the right of every citizen of our country. It is the right of every citizen to share their opinion on what matters to them, or to think and feel about the legislature. How they're going to think and feel about it, it is their right. But again, I like to say to you that the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives, is doing all it can to speak. Now, you spoke about decisions. I say this to you that there are hard decisions in the interest of the country that the legislature, specifically the House, takes in the interest of the country. I say this that just very lately, we have over 48 members of the House of Representatives in Buchanan last week.
What were they doing?
The Office of the World Economic Crimes Court on this issue that many of us Nigerians, what took many lives away, over 250,000 of our citizens who died on the issue. Many Nigerians called for the establishment of the World Economic Crimes Court. That mattered most to our people, and the House agreed. And we went there in Buchanan to look at the framework of the court. These are things we believe that in the interest of the public, of course, yes, they will yearn for it. And so here, decisions that are being taken, we look at it from a broad perspective in the interest of the public. So as you talk about the confidence, yes, I can say that the public does have confidence in the legislature.
And Robert, let's talk about public concern, public concerns over transparency and accountability in the legislature. Yesterday, and in fact on Tuesday and on yesterday, one of the lawmakers, Brown County Law Representative Member Briggs Menza, walked out of session during the appearance of the Minister of Justice and other security actors on your invitation. She walked away and made some staggering comments or strong comments about the necessity of you going to executive, whilst the Minister of Justice was appearing along with members of the security team, the joint security team. Yesterday, she made a radio appearance again and criticized the effectiveness of the legislature. She spoke about, she criticized the decision you took to pass the B Mountain Agreement. How she didn't vote for it. You all voted Nicodemus Day or in closed door. Public hearings were not done. Enough public engagements were not done. And she made reference also to the Mitai Agreement as well. Similar manner, similar approach, little involvement of the public, and you went ahead and passed those agreements. Don't you think the concerns of the public about transparency and accountability in the work you do does not only involve or concern the public? Some of your colleagues have been expressing these things over and over and over and over and again.
So, like I said earlier, while talking to Brother Abu, that place is not a church. And so, Representative Memon Bridge work all year is all right. She being elected by the great people of District Number 6, Bone County. And when she making her point and it seems like is not cutting across, she have a right and she walk out. But let me say this: consistent of our rules and procedure, Austin, the house, like I said, the house is a rule-based house. Okay, consistent of our procedure, our rules. If you look at Rule 3 of the House's Rules and Procedure, Rule 3 calls for secret section or executive section. Why? It says that issues that borders on national security, some of it cannot just be in the public land. And especially so in that instance, that matter we're talking about the drugs. We had the country's Attorney General, the Minister of Justice, who is the Dean of the Supreme Court Bar. We had the officer in charge of the DEA, the LDEA. And this issue, as it is ongoing investigation. An attempt to divert some information out to the public, it jeopardizes the investigation. And as such, that's why I plan to the decision to have an executive section.
But Robert, this seems to me a weak justification for the lack of better word. This seems to me a weak justification. There was a communication served to the plenary. The communication was read to invite those actors. Plenary voted to uphold or honor the request of the lawmaker who made the request. Hello? Yes. So you voted to invite the Minister of Justice, Attorney General, Dean of the Supreme Court Bar. You knew all their portfolios and the roles and responsibilities they play in public service. Why did you vote to invite them to appear before plenary and not before the committee either on joint security or before or in closed door. But the decisions are in plenary. While they are appearing in plenary, then you move to go to executive. Don't you think this was a wrong choice by the plenary to have voted for open appearance instead of closed door?
So let me say this. It was open to the public. It was open to the public. And then, at a certain point in time, there was, and I said this to you, if you look at our Rule 3. Now, issues that border on national security, and especially so have been intimated by the Attorney General of the country. All right? And so, plenary converts in an executive session, and then, on the basis, because knowing that this was something that the plenary took that decision, they had to open the session again. We had to open the session again. We had to open.
What did the Minister of Justice say in the executive?
Our point here, the legislature, which is the deputies of the people, is to make sure that this is amicably solved for us to go at the bottom of this. Because some time ago here, we saw how drug issue had it going, and we had a series of protests, simultaneous protests across the country. And so this matter, and so we're talking about the huge quantity, the investigation needs to go at the depth. And this is why it's ongoing.
Mr. Director, what exactly did they...
As a matter of fact, the decision that was being taken, it says that plenary to the decision that the security authorities will give update on the 29th
in secret
of June. On the 29th.
Is that update going to be done in public or in secret?
It's going to be done in leadership. It's going to be open up to the public. I promise you that.
But during your closed door,
29th of June.
During your closed door session, I'm told the Minister of Justice and his team made some provided some information. Do you care to share some of those things to us?
No, it's not in the executive session. In the open glance, the Attorney General spoke, and he mentions the issue.
Yes, we follow that. I'm asking you about. In the executive, what did he say to you in executive?
What is being said in executive, I cannot say that on the radio to you, dear brother, because the thing here is we're talking about investigation. When investigation is ongoing, we can diverge some information out to the public like that, But the thing about it is to make sure that this is being done. It's going to the depth.
Abu wants to come in.
Robert, these are very interesting conversation, and it's good. But just to pick from where you guys stop on this whole drug, conversation. Don't you think the 2 weeks given to the Attorney General and the Joint Security to report back to the legislature on information or be able to answer some of the questions that your members have is equal to buying time, especially looking at the gravity of this matter and how interested the Liberian people are? You're trying to water down. Is the legislature kind of assisting the executive in watering down the public desire or interest in the truth or the facts around this by agreeing to buy time 2 weeks after they have already exhausted a little over a week? That's going to take us to 3 weeks just to give us basic information about this thing.
So let me say this. This is not about buying time. And as a matter of fact, investigation is not automatic. Investigation will take some time. And so this is the reason why the deputies of the people have requested, have mandated the authorities, the security authorities, the national security people to provide. It's not about buying time. To be able to brief the leadership of the House on this cocaine seizure case. All right? It's not about buying time. But mind you, I say this to you, at the end of the day, it's not just about calling names. But for us to be able to investigate these matters, to come to a logical conclusion in terms of knowing how the whole trade, who started this, where did it come from, all of this. This is because we see investigation can take time. Investigation takes time, not automatic. So fair enough that this is something that the public is very concerned about. All of us, we are concerned about this. Again, we cannot just, as a legislature, say, check your the report right now. I mean, then we're not headed anywhere. But I say to you, as been mandated by the legislature on the 29th of June, we're hoping to have the report.
Okay, let me
let
me backtrack.
This is of concern.
Let me backtrack a little bit, right? You also said that the legislature is open. I mean, trying to indicate how tolerant it is in terms of public scrutiny and all of that, right? But I like to look at what we are hearing, concerns that are being raised, especially among media colleagues, about a degree of control that's going on at the legislature. And it's a perfect opportunity speaking to you as the director. What has changed in terms of the way media activities are conducted in covering the House of Representatives now?
The media is always given a chance in open session to provide coverage. Even committees, hello?
You're live.
Even committees meetings, we have coverage. The media provide coverage. We have a very cordial working relationship with the legislative reporters being headed by Emmanuel Colley of ELBC. And so we have a very cordial working relationship with the media people who are getting unhindered access to coverage at the legislature. That's the reason why on a daily basis, I like to thank the media people who providing coverage, because you see, everything that happening at the legislature is being flagged out there to the public. It's being disseminated to the public. And so they are doing very well. So they have unhindered access. Unhindered access.
It says you are selective in the media organization that you permit.
No, there's no selection. Here how it works. We do annual accreditation. We do annual accreditation. When we get accreditation, when the session starts, we're not going to be changing it and every time to bring new people and stuff like that. So when the beginning of a session, those people who are given accreditation provide coverage for that entire section. That's how it is. But we have no interest in any particular media house to give accreditation to and deny other people. Absolutely not. Because mind you, I myself being a professional journalist, I went to school for this, being a journalist, and so I cannot see any of my colleagues and deny their access where, of course, yes, in public information, they should be able to provide information to the public. I cannot do that as a director of press. I'm very open as all of the guys who provide coverage. I have a very good working relationship with them. In my predecessors did have good working relationship with the media people. So we don't have any interest in any other institution of coverage.
What happened with your relationship with our Freedom FM reporter? Up to now, access remain denied.
Access have never been denied from Freedom FM. As a matter of fact, if you were to look at, if your manager, I don't know how you guys do your communication, but your manager is very much aware. He has submitted the name of a gentleman called Kojo. Kojo, and is a gentleman who we had the accreditation. I tell you this.
There was a gentleman. There was a gentleman there. What happened?
Excuse me, sir. A gentleman called Kojo name was submitted by the manager of the radio station, a gentleman called Oliver Khan, who submitted the name of a gentleman called Kojo. I know Raji Kojo or whatever.
There was a gentleman there called 1 minute.
Can you allow me to lay?
Yeah, but just let me say.
Can you allow me to lay on my thoughts and ask the question, sir?
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, so there's a gentleman, I don't work for Freedom FM, I don't know your reporters, but there's a gentleman I'm calling, her name is Kojo, probably maybe not in your network, then you can tell
me. No, that's not the issue. The issue is about the rule you have adopted now.
But brother, they don't do it like this. They don't do it like this. You ask me a question, I need to answer. Unless you want to be combative. And of course, I'm not going to be combative with you. You ask me a question, I'm telling you that your manager, I don't know why you didn't.
Mama, you are a true ambassador. You're supposed to be calm under pressure.
Since the submission of the name called Kojo, we provided the accreditation with a picture. In fact, a photographer also sent.
No. 1 minute. Director, Mr. Director, 1 minute. Mr. Director,
I don't want us to use the interview to handle our administration.
No. It's a general thing. It's not only. I mean, just a case study.
That is a matter. Right? That is a matter of
Mr. Director. Mr. Director, they won before the Kojo instance. I'm told that there was a situation that the reporter reported on, and a particular lawmaker has an issue with, and then an instruction was sent for you to ask the reporters out. Is that how you run the place now?
No, you are absolutely wrong. You are absolutely wrong.
How you tell me?
If you want us to have this kind of conversation on the radio, cool. That's what I'm telling you. That probably you could be your junior staff, and you're not aware that your manager sent a name called Kojo to us, and since the name Kojo has been sent, Freedom FM has this Ohino assets, and with the name being sent to us. But guess what? Since that name was being sent to us, and we processed, and a photographer also sent, we processed his card, his accreditation. He's yet to pick up that.
Okay, Robert. Okay, one last one. It's okay. And I'm not bothered. And no. And I'm not bothered about whatever reactive description that you want to put forward. It's okay. At least the public is the judge to understand these things. But one final one, and then Austin will come in. I like to go back. I like to go back to the decision on.
No, let's satisfy this first. Do you know that Freedom FM has a gentleman called Kojo that his name was being sent to provide coverage?
My man, you have provided the answer you can provide, right?
You said the public should be the judge. Do you know that?
I asked you about what happened with the reporter that was assigned.
No. First, you should be asking. You probably be a
my concern is what happened with the reporter that was assigned. Okay. Richard speaker. In no time, you wrote
Abu and Robert.
And you come up public I beg you. A lawmaker can walk to your office and tell you, say, gentlemen, we can do this reporter, and then you remove that reporter.
Gentlemen, we can do this. Sorry, hello.
We're talking about tolerance and accountability. The press office is being accused of being very
we can. There are administrative issues that will be handled behind the scene. We can bring that. We can introduce that into the in the interview.
This is accountability issue.
So,
but this is not about my students. This is about how you're running the public affairs office.
We can argue with it. Rabbi is our friend, but he's a guest now. We can make it combative.
No, it's not being combative.
So
let's move past it. Since the gentleman name was submitted, he's yet to pick up the pass. And I'm calling the name Kojo. One gentleman called Kojo.
Rabbi, are you prepared to move past this conversation?
Let me take just more for you. Robert Thomas Kojo Rolak works for Freedom FM. He's an assigned reporter at the legislature. There was an additional reporter recommended or supplied to the legislature. He worked there. There were issues. The management is in charge of that. They will handle that matter with your office. So the management will work with your office to handle that, to resolve that issues. Let's focus on the.
Brother, you don't control what I choose to talk to you about. You accepted the invitation to come.
There is this concentration on NAMOD. I've been following Eddie Jawolo, where the legislature has officially, the House has officially written Eddie Jawolo, requesting him to arrive and asking. Requesting to requesting some documents and findings of a survey and all of that, and some in the public view your action as an attempt to censor speech and the work that NAMO does, as a means to something that's going to undermine transparency and accountability of the legislature, particularly the House.
No, I don't see it like that. And so why I say so, as a matter of fact, NAMO is a partner that does a very good job. We have to be able to checkmate our public officials. So NAMO goes ahead and conduct the monitor. We have them cover the session, and then see whether or not these lawmakers speak in session, what are the bills he or she submit, and then how they interact with their constituents in their various constituencies. So yes, there's no way to question the kind of job they do, but it was a particular representative from District Number 12, Matabaro County, who thought that following the report of NAMO, he thought that probably due diligence was not being done to him, and he thought to have the NAMO executive director on which Jawolo come before leadership. That was not in plenary, to come before leadership, to ascertain how he goes about his methodology in terms of probably maybe saying that the lawmaker is not present this time. He's not. He doesn't speak in session, or she doesn't speak in session. All of that. So it wasn't. It's not in any way of clamp down or on free speech and stuff like that. It's just basically to provide clarity. And so yes, Honorable Jawolo was being invited to leadership. And so it was District number 12, Maserati Honorable Jerry Yokba, who wrote that communication. You see, no, we are partners. As a matter of fact, we have several other institutions that provide their legislative monitoring institution. So they are partners. If we don't have these people operating, then we're not going anywhere. They have to be able to operate. They have to checkmate these lawmakers. They have to checkmate public officials. Yes.
But the lawmakers are getting the lawmakers are getting angry, and they have started inviting people who checkmate them.
They are not angry. They are not angry. I can say to you, it's just to understand the methodology. That's why Honorable Jawolo is being invited to leadership to explain to the lawmakers the methodology being used in terms of how he goes about giving a report. Now, I say this to you that we have these people providing monitoring there in session. It's part of participatory democracy. Our leaders are there, or we have to be able to checkmate to find out whether or not they're doing the right thing or they're not doing the right thing. And that's why we have these institutions. These institutions are there. And of course, they are also helping the legislature, area where it's in weakening, area that needs tightening and all of that. And we welcome all of the monitoring, all of the legislative monitors. We welcome all of them to do their job. Exclusively to provide a job, they do.
Legislative oversight of government ministries and agencies and public commissions is a matter of concern to many of us. A couple of weeks ago, I heard a few lawmakers complaining that the members of the executive are being recalcitrant, not stubborn or refusing to honor your invitations of the House. Particularly, District 16 Representative Dixon Sibo made that concern in plenary in one of your sessions. How concerned is the Speaker or the leadership of the House regarding this matter? Because it speaks to the relationship between the House and the executive.
Yes, it's an issue being raised, by the Honorable District Sibo District 16, and that was in open plenary. Yes, the legislature, the leadership is in the know of this, and I've said with the leader, the executive, agents of the executive that seem not to adhere to their to invitation being sent them. We'll have to face the wrath of the legislature. That's why you saw one of the first casualties is the gentleman who served as an ambassador at large.
So you acknowledge that the decision of the House is cutting.
I'm saying to you, and yes, that's the first round, because he's an agent of the executive. Look, we will have three branches of the three branches.
But Robert, his issue was not his refusal to appear before you. But there were people. 1 minute there were officials of the executives. 1 minute there were people in the executives who were invited and refused to honor your invitation, which triggered the concerns from some of those lawmakers. In the case of Ambassador, he honored your invitation to respond to statements or justify or clarify statements that he made on public radio. Those are two different things. One person made a statement, you could another person was invited as part of their oversight and refused to appear, and you did nothing.
You can't support the executive, and I'm saying this to you. Read my lips. Probably I'm way here, you don't see my lips. But I'm saying this to you that it's being raised by not only Honorable Dixon Sibo, several other members of the House have spoken about the invitations being out to people in the executive, ministers, directors of public corporation and stuff. Some of them deliberately refuse to appear. And a motion was being passed on that any member of the executive that is being invited, that refuse without substantive excuse and you give flimsy excuse, you will be caught up in the web. And
Why do you think they have been refusing?
See that?
Why do you think they to honor invitations from the house?
So most of them have spoken and said that I don't work for them, but some of them in their communication to the house, some have spoken and said that it's on the process of the communication, either they didn't receive it or they didn't receive it on time and stuff like that, or some people were away of the country and all of that. But those things in leadership have been discussed that there seem to be flimsy excuses being given, not genuine. And going forward, when invitations are being served to any member in the executive and they don't show up, or don't give an excuse that will be deemed necessary not by an individual but by plenary, then they will have to feed the wrath of the House of Representatives.
And what will be that wrath?
See that?
What could be the wrath?
I can talk in abstract until somebody do that, or when you in the executive misbehave and see, brother.
Because remember, these are agents of the executive. That's a separate branch of government.
People who are in the executive, according to our constitution, the three branches of government is to coordinate, cooperate, and stuff like that. So
if you are threatening wrath against,
who failed to do that,
if you are threatening wrath against members of the executive, one will begin to wonder, what are you contemplating? Expelling them?
Then it seems
or
to be
a vote of no confidence.
Then it seems to be that then the executive could not be coordinating, will not be collaborating with the other end of the government, right? So this is the point, because mind you, yes, as a government is one government, but three branches. One there to make the law, one there to enforce the law, another one there to interpret the law. So the one that enforces the law, say if the one that enforces the law seem not to be working with the one that passed the law, then there's conflict. Or seem not to be working with the one that interprets the law, then there's conflict.
Robert, they are going
to see that the government don't work, and people say, well, the government it seems not to be working, and we don't want the government to be that way. It should be in a way where yes, we will coordinate, we will work together for the good of the country, because we owe it to the public, we owe it to our people.
Robert, this perception in the public, and I've heard some lawmakers say the same, that the speaker does not seem to be in charge of the legislature. It seems that his gavel, it appears that his gavel is weakening by the day, and his deputy speaker seems to be in charge of everything and running the show. Does this concern the speaker? And has this reached the leadership of the House?
The speaker and the deputy speaker are working concomitantly. They are working concomitantly. And I can say that for a fact. There's no one person. The boss is all with the boss. As a matter of fact, the speaker is just first among equals. All right. So now that he lost, as a matter of fact, his gavel got more strength. His gavel is sophisticated. All right. His gavel is very strong. It's not about who, but it's about the legislature, and that's why he's working with all of the members of the House. All right. He just puts them on equals. He respects all of his colleagues, and his colleagues respect him too. We have different roles to play in the interest of the country.
But Robert, many complaints. There are complaints and observations that the speaker usually presides in noise, that he does not have control of the flow. We saw the situation of the appearance of the Minister of Justice. You could hardly hear the Minister of Justice speak because of the noise, the disruptions, the disturbances. And what does the rule say about quorum? That entire rule of quorum, decorum seems to be ineffective, and the speaker seems not to have the political will to exercise the implementation, or to implement that rule that requires decorum. Everybody talking randomly across the floor.
Especially when the deputy speaker is not.
Yes.
So let me say this to you. Like I said to you when I was talking to the brother called Abu, and I was saying that the place is not a church. The speaker is just for them on equals. All right? And these lawmakers, there will be difference of views. They will raise issues. You can't just tell us to join your chair more. No. All right? They will will speak on an issue. It does not anyway suggest that the speaker does not have authority.
Your rules require that a member must be recognized, must raise his hand, be recognized, and I mean before he or she speaks. That's not the case. That's not the situation we see.
Yes, so at a certain point in time, there will be issues on the floor and people have to express an issue. But it does not anyway negate the fact that the very conversation or the matter about will not be discussed. All right? Yes, because like I said, it's not a church. Look, there is no plenary in the world. There is no plenary which in legislative proceeding is a high decision-making body. There's no plenary that is quiet.
No, not the
plenary will be quiet.
Robert, not the case. There will be seconds. There are a few seconds of interruption or disruptions when somebody is in speech, but not 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You know, to the extent that even legislative reporters complain about poor quality of their audio recordings because the lawmakers do not give chance to their colleagues to speak, or when somebody is appearing, they interrupt and interfere with the different recordings. Cameras are going live, and you know your sessions, recorders are on, and they distorted because of the lack of I don't want to say the inability of the speaker to ensure decorum in the plenary.
You better not say that, because it's not the case, brother. It's not the case. There are going to be difference of views, people will express, but as a matter of fact, the work of the people is ongoing.
As a matter of fact, the work of the people is ongoing. So Abu has a few questions for you, and then we can go to the telephone lines and pick a few calls.
Will be just two more, because
I think it'll be one more, Robert. You know,
brother,
go ahead. And Robert, I'd like to go back to everything that came into the decision to have unanimously voted a vote of no confidence in Sheikh Kouyaté, right? And it stems from a public utterance he made, appearing on a live show where he deemed the house as a place where every concession that goes through, and accusing bribery and all of that, and the house wanted to know about that. So my thing is, don't you think the house stepped too hard in the Sheikh Kouyaté instance, especially when there is a public affairs office, and occupied by very competent communicators that could equally go there and debunk what the host would consider a misrepresentation, instead of going the length of acting to remove, to remove the ambassador in a way. Two things. What does it really say? Is it that the host does not trust the ability of the public affairs office to deal with these public conversations, because this is the space of democracy? People have their opinions, and then you can react and make clarity. You can order to press conferences or to press releases and all that. But the host said no. They went the extra length of elevating just a media conversation with an individual to the degree of, an extent where they have to issue a call for the mere expulsion that many people in the public see as an express, intolerance on the part of the house.
So let me say this in terms of whether or not the house does not trust the public affairs president. No, that is undoubted.
I mean, to deal with matter like that.
So that,
I mean, to deal with issues like that, reacting and clarifying misinformation, misrepresentation about the house.
Here's the point. So here's the point. District number 5, Montserrat County Representative Honorable Priscilla Ibrahim Kopot have written a communication to have Honorable Sheikh Kouyaté appear in plenary owing to his denigrating statement about the House of Representatives or the legislature, and that went to plenary, and plenary did take a decision instead of the gentleman coming to plenary, but on the basis of looking at the flexibility, he should come to leadership. We have leadership meeting every Monday. So that decision was taken. So let the gentleman come to leadership. Let's inquire for him whether or not those statements were being made. Mind you, these statements, so people can say, "Oh, no, I didn't talk about AI." Also, for him to come, and so yes, the gentleman came, and then he was being told to come along with his boss, who is the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, the COS of the president. And then he came the other time along with the COS of the president. He came with the president legal advisor, Butu Ben Keita, Councilor Butu Ben Keita. He came along with the two deputies, foreign minister, one for legal and one for administration, Gabriel Williams. So they came, and then in that, if you don't have, I will share the video with you so you can get the audio. In that meeting, the leadership asked Honorable Koyetet on his statements being made. And so who first spoke was the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Honorable Steve Kuya. And he spoke and said, the president is also concerned about this. The president met Honorable Koyetet before we came here. I mean, before they went to the legislature for leadership meeting. And the president spoke with Honorable Koyetet and said that he doesn't embrace that kind of conversation that he had out there because the three branches of government need to coordinate and work together for the good. And knowing that he is a diplomat, he should be basically talking, attracting foreign investors to the country. And so, he told the president, according to what was being explained by the COS of the president, and he said, Koyetet did tell the president that, Mr. President, going forward, any statement for me to make will be reviewed and then approved before I go ahead to make comments or search. And so that was being said, and Honorable Koyetet spoke and apologized to members of the House. He apologized, and then a decision was being taken by a motion was being put by Honorable Jason Sibu of District 16 that the apology was not just enough in leadership, but the ambassador allowed should go and do the retraction on a very radio station he appeared on. Then I think it was OKFM, and then do a written communication to the House of Representatives, to the chief clerk, and then publish the communication in full local dailies.
Okay.
So that decision was taken, and it went on the Koyetet, in the president on the Koyetet, and the COS of the president, and the legal advisor, and the two deputies of foreign affairs. And the meeting, after the meeting, everybody shook hands and left. That since he apologized, he was going to do what was being said. And then the gentleman afterwards took back onto his social media era and said that he did not apologize. You mean being strategic, being a communicator? And I was there. I had a video, and we had to put a video up.
Okay.
And he did apologize, but then he went and said he didn't apologize, and he will not apologize. But after he had done that in leadership, and then when he went on the radio station that he was told to go back on to retract his statement, he went there on the radio station to provide clarity to OKFM, and then he also mentioned there that he didn't apologize and stuff like he was defensive.
Okay.
And so that was also then the leadership thought that, but this gentleman is more like he's being deceptive. How will he come here and apologize and then go to the public and say he didn't apologize and stuff like that? It was basically to go on and with your work, go do your work and stuff like that. But to now raise a point as a diplomat, he said they want to come and he said no. I said that was the point, and so the legislature thought that look. We don't have confidence in this gentleman. Communicated with the office of the president. President put no confidence in him. That was what happened.
Okay.
Okay, Robert Hearns, 0776 104 104 0886 500 104. Those are the numbers you can call to join the show this morning. We can take 5 calls because Robert is transiting from Benghazi to Tripoli or from Tripoli to Benghazi.
From Benghazi to Tripoli. I'm doing that now.
Okay, so we can take 5.
Thank you, Jonah, for the show. Great program.
Thank you. You're welcome. We can take 5 calls on the issues and see. Okay, so let's talk to this person from here. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Abu, and the family on the show. I'm Abby Johnson calling from Tupelo, the chairman for the Concerned Librarian for Justice. So, you see, when people try to defend things that they don't able to defend, what happened with the honorable on the show, Robert Hayes. Because people doing things outside silent to listen to what he's trying to say. And when the other police speaking, the other people to keep quiet to listen to what that person is trying to say.
Thank you very much. Point well across. Next person, let's hear you.
Good morning, Angela.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead with your point.
I want to find out from the honorable that whatever any of the lawmaker has gone wrong, why can be punished. What I'm saying this is
You don't have to justify your question. The question is across. Rabbi is taking note. Next caller. Go ahead.
Yes, hello.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is Mandela calling from Uru. I'm hearing the lawmaker talking about the creator, the honorable man, that he didn't report it that. You know, then I'm hearing about the call somebody to go and justify their statement. The law, because now respecting the executive ministers now respecting them to come when they call them. You know, the people elected them in the house. And the people elected them in the house to do what they're supposed to do. I don't think they are what they are doing, their role. They will be doing it rightly. Then even when you call the executive member, they can't go. It's because when you say yourself to the executive, they will not respect you, even anybody, not even executive. And these are for the disrespect that the two are doing. So they will give excuses that they will not come. And then you can't say that you tell the honorable man say you should apologize. Your action, they still have a mentor, or mentor. Is it wrong? Your action in the house of what you're doing. Then you think you can silence people, but you want a man to go and apologize for what reason? That your action, your better.
Thank you. No. You can't do that. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. You're talking with Kovic. I'm joining you from Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, hearing I don't know whosoever how they call you. You know, there's a word in news that is you go in the church or the pastor say hallelujah, amen. So now he's telling us, we the Labrador people that they just say that they will say, okay, let's do it. Now people will say that when you talk, they will get there. So let them be careful because now they already said they are sent to the executive. So for that reason, the executive will condemn them. Thank you.
Next person, possibly the last caller. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Emmanuel Baka for question number 3. My question to the director is this: what is the greater implication the Martin and Absolute Meta have? They pass the deal on a closed door. What is the greater implication?
Come again with your question. I didn't get it.
Yeah, the director says something has greater implication.
Okay. So the two, so you want to know whether B Martin AMLD also has security implication and about the passage on a closed door?
Yeah.
Okay. Director Haynes, are you there? Director Haynes? I don't know whether Robert is on. I think he. Okay. But I think we can take a break. Robert left the line. We can take maybe 5 more calls since the director left the line.
What you have been here,
Yeah.
these were fine. It is good that these were coming also from the people, but you know, just before we can just pass over this whole legislature thing, and I like some meetings by the director. They have to sit down and start to do some in-house review of themselves. Why would it be with the enormity of power and authority that the legislature command, right? For the legislature to be coming out now and publicly saying that, members of the executive are in a constant habit of preferring flimsy excuses to boycott legislative invitation, especially when those invitations serve a singular purpose of ensuring accountability, right? Checkmating whatever work they're doing, all of that, then it is a serious problem. It is a serious problem. It has got something to do with leadership and all of that. And Liberia have always known that place to be a political theater. And in the understanding of that, especially in a democracy, that will be the environment where there will be less control of public views and public opinion, and then people can freely express. That's what we say political theater. So you consider these things as political reactions and all of that, but you move past. But reports we're getting from journalists themselves have been that there is serious concerted effort to ensuring that certain things, and I was troubled, and rather keep dodging this. If the recall, let me just put it that way, of a reporter is simply because he or she made a report, and the lawmaker walks into, I understand these are your bosses, walk into your office and say, this person can't be here anymore, then I know you're operating on a very difficult terrain, but in the public, it presents your work and, of course, the legislature in a whole different way. We saw there was a speaker, there was a leadership before this leadership, and we saw how things were. We saw the level of freedom that media coverage, enjoy, and we see the new reforms or regulations that are being instituted, subjecting media organizations and media personalities to additional scrutiny that weren't the case before. Then it means truly that there's a whole different environment. And we try to quiz about that. The brother gets emotional and something we can understand. But it was a beautiful conversation. Like I said, it's important that we continue to have this accountability has been part of the Liberian government architecture, and it doesn't matter who is a leader at a particular time. That is not going to stop. You may attempt to want to stifle it, but it's not going to work no matter what. Critical views will always be there, and they're here to stay no matter who becomes president, no matter who becomes speaker or president pro tempore. People have to reach to a point where they have to accept disagreements. They have to be tolerant towards dissenting views, and that's how we can move this country forward.
Sure. So let me. It's like I have to speak to this thing because I keep receiving messages about Sam Collins is coming. I mean, not he canceled appearance.
So that makes it 2 in a series.
Yeah.
Because yesterday you could announce him, and then we didn't get him.
Yeah, yesterday he had justifiable reason. He was on another platform.
Okay.
Yeah. So Sam is not coming. Sam has said to me that he needs approval. He has said to me he needs approval to appear.
Okay.
Even though we have had prior conversation before doing the flyer, but he said to me after the flyer was shared that he needs approval. So I was left in the wilderness as to what kind of approval does he need, or who does he need the approval from. But we hope he will be able to get the approval from the relevant authority, for us to reschedule the appearance. So we apologize to our audience. We shared the flyer, and you all were expecting the police spokesman would have come here to answer some of our questions, and unfortunately he has not gotten that approval, or that is administrative approval. I'm sure that he needs to appear. He hasn't gotten it. We hope he can get it today or anytime this week, so we can reschedule him for next week. So we apologize to all of you who are all in the audience for that. On the issue about the house, not to share similar opinion about, there's something our public officials ignore in this country, and I think it's important that every time we sit behind these microphones, we must place emphasis on it. The issue about transparency and accountability and public confidence, the two that have to grow, transparency and accountability, they must work together, because working together leads you into winning public confidence. The public will not have confidence in you or in the work you do, even if you are transparent, but you are not accountable. So we have this budget hearing thing. All the land ministries and agencies go to the legislature for budget hearing. How much we need? We need 2 million to buy medical supplies. We need 36 million to buy chairs and pay teachers and train teachers. We need this amount to go rest and all of stuff in it. That's a transparency aspect about the budget, right? The public hearing the figures you need, though. The budget is passed. In the implementation of the budget, you say even though the PFM law requires that every quarter you must do your R10 report. The money you gave for the first 3 months, how you spend it? Where you spend it?
Where? Performance.
Thank you. So that R10 does not go. Land ministries and agencies stopped or refusing to submit their R10 or budget performance report. That's lack of transparency. Accountability. Because when you transparent in the passage of the budget, you must account for what was passed. So once one is lacking, public confidence goes away. If you want to bring public confidence closer to the work you do, it means you must be transparent and accountable, and not selectively transparent and accountable. You must be consistently transparent and accountable to the people. But that, it wins onto you public confidence. Look, for me, it was disturbing. There are certain things that I don't expect to come from inside us. For it to get to the point where lawmakers, representatives, will start complaining and crying in open plenary that members of the executives or some members of the executive are refusing to honor invitations that come from the House. That is concerning.
Who do you hold?
It raises a lot of concerns. The first question is, and this question is important that even the speaker answered it. What do you think some members in the executive will refuse to honor your invitation? There must be a reason for that. And then you have done an investigation and you are able to establish that the excuses that are given by some of these officials are flimsy. They're only giving these flimsy excuses because they don't want to come. They don't want to appear before you. They don't want to sit on a gavel. What does that say about your authority?
Take you seriously, basically. They don't take you seriously.
Basically, one, it says that either they don't take you serious, either they don't have confidence in you, either they don't trust your capacity or your ability. So that's why I said it raises a lot of concerns. And for Dixie Sibo and other lawmakers to start raising these things in the public, Mr. Speaker, that's not a good thing for your leadership. It exposes the lack of coordination between the executive and the House, and I don't want to say the legislature. It also exposes the lack of confidence from the executive in the leadership of the House. That's a strong message it sends. Because if the executive had confidence in you, in your leadership, nobody from the executive will refuse to appear. Even when Eric Starler was being embattled, members of the executive were still appearing in plenary under his gavel at the time he had not recused himself.
Because he was standing up strong.
Yes. And he was in charge of the gavel.
That's
that gavel is. I don't want to agree with my brother when he say, "With the gavel, people can talk." No, even in the British Parliament, people disagreed. People speak across the floor, but that's for seconds. For seconds, people will cheer and cheer, but that's within seconds. Once that gavel is knocked, you have to see in the British Parliament or the South African or the US, Congress, you have to see speaker knocking gavel 3 times because the gavel has rules. You are not supposed to knock that gavel more than 3 times to call for decorum. It has rule. For your speaker to consent, bang, bang, all multiple times knocking the gavel, it shows lack of control over the house, over the members. When the gavel is knocked one time, even though we understand that there are some lawmakers who does not, or some lawmakers who do not understand this rule, because when the gavel is knocked one time, it means pay attention. Hello, pay attention, listen.
I don't think it's that lawmakers
Okay,
do not
but
understand it.
when people do not have confidence in you too, it's an issue. No, there are some lawmakers who do not understand that gavel is not to be knocked more than 3 times. That's why the two sides have to be educated to certain things. The speaker has to be educated or has to be told that he's losing or he's lost control of his colleagues in the house. That's why when he knocks the gavel, people don't listen.
So you get it.
And members of the house too have to be told that even if you do not listen or you do not agree with the speaker or you do not respect his leadership, you have options. The option should not be to disturb or disrupt session. The option is ask him out or vote him out.
You just stated
because there are
right?
people who are watching
him, but yet still, when he hit the gavel, people will listen.
Look at the case with the case with the Minister of Justice.
Why is it different from this man owner?
The speaker said he's a regime speaker.
Okay, so now you get the point.
So the case with the Minister of Justice. Look, I was so angry because I was watching the live, and I really wanted to hear what the Minister of Justice was saying. Abu, you could not even understand a single word that came out of the minister's mouth. You could not understand. The speaker knocked the gavel more than 22 times on a particular situation to call for decorum. And when the moment the Minister of Justice starts to speak, everybody will start to talk randomly on the floor. And I want to ask Robert in the closing part of the conversation whether he can watch or read the comments under the live feeds. Some of these people that go live when people are appearing or when they are in session. I think all lawmakers, including the speaker, you need to start reading some of the comments under the live. They are not good. And those comments are not good because they hate you. They are not good because the way you're comporting yourself, the way you're carrying yourself, the way you're conducting yourselves. People calling you noise makers. People calling you children. Why are you people acting like babies? Those are the comments that can appear under the live because nobody is listening. Everybody is talking across the floor, above their heads. And it's like, why are you guys here? You are not forced to be in session. If you cannot conduct yourselves, and ensure decorum in the house, it's an issue. Yes, I would agree with Richard Kuhn to take about 60 or 70% responsibility for not exercising or exerting the authority over his colleagues to ensure decorum. But the remaining 30% or 40% we have to go to the other lawmakers because they are all adults. They are parents, they are fathers and mothers. They control and manage homes. You can't be behaving like kids. It will shift everything on the head. The two sides have should have equal responsibility to the state. I mean, this is wrong. I know Robert can dodge that other one. The speaker must take charge. From all indications, he's losing something. He's losing something. If he hasn't lost it, then he's significantly losing something. And that thing is control of that place.
And it may seem like the speaker is the one losing it, but I think it's not the speaker, it's the country that's losing something. The country is losing a whole lot because the efficiency, the effectiveness that should come through the leadership of the House, the absence of that deprives the country of very significant dividend from the democratic process. If you have a speaker that is not listened to, if you have a speaker that cannot properly exert control, or maybe control is a harsher word, but ensure leadership in the House to the point where he struggled to have, just the simplest thing of a decorum, doing critical conversations. And I stand to be corrected, but it looked to me that this speaker, as he is, has deferred session to executive more than anybody have done in a period. So obviously, in open session, it becomes challenging. So most time to save face, let's go to executive. Let's go to executive. And this loss of authority in his gavel may not directly or just automatically culminate into removal, because it benefits the executive to an extent, so they can play the politics to maintain him there, right? Most times, the moment you see the removal of the speaker gets expedited is when the actions or activities of the speaker becomes not
Not in
so
compliance
favorable to the
with
executive. But even if there are inherent deficiencies on the part of the speaker, for as long as the executive profits out of that inefficiency, they will keep you there. Your colleagues can have whatever. So as soon as that psychology is understood by your colleagues, you start to see it in their actions. And that's there where we come to, I want to believe that they are knowledgeable, that the power of the gavel, are you supposed to be a parliamentarian? I mean, that you don't know the power of the gavel one time, two times, because I'll be hitting desk to the point. There are times where from the speaker's facial expression, his body language, it appears as if to say he wants to get involved into physical confrontation to ensure that there is order in the house. Right? You put a man out, Sergeant, put a man out. When you start to see that one, you know exactly what is going. But again, speaker made a blunder from the get-go.
That's the whole thing, yeah.
From the get-go. I wonder whether Mr. Kuhn sometimes sits home and replay that audio and calculate the adverse effect of that in a porous or polarizing political environment like ours. I will be a regime speaker. Anything the president wants, I will do it. Right? And the executive has a way to pull you by that. They will not come to you direct, right? But they have a way, and they will create a scenario where, you know, your stay here is because of this commitment, and you must remain committed to this. Most times we all know the way things are going. Speakers are supposed to be very committed to collaboration and working with the executive in the interest of the country. But when the speaker commitment goes or falls short of that, and rather idolizes the president and puts him in the center of critical national legislative decision making, then executive official will start playing fool out of you, because they may know you just can't do anything to him. They may have the vulnerable ones that you can do something to. But take, for instance, he invites the LPRC boss, who is the Secretary General of the ruling party. And then he sends in an excuse that, oh, I didn't see it on time and I have something. With this speaker, consider that a flimsy excuse and take whatever legislative action. I double dare him. It will not work. So these are the problems, my brother. But again, everybody is aware that the country is not running normally, and the executive have lost, the taste of they play most likely a gatekeeping responsibility in the structure of our governance, because they can call you and say, oh, can't tell, why you doing the other one. They can call you, so they're watching. They send you, they made the allotments to you. You bring your program, they send you, they approve, right? Then they sit down, they watch you. Then you go, you do them, they call you. But when you lose that authority now as a gatekeeper, and then your tune start to dwindle and all of that, then the public know clearly that you've lost, essence, you've lost purpose. Even the people you're supposed to be collaborating with, you don't even regard you anymore, because your very self can flat your own laws. You can break your own rules. So if you can't respect your own rules now, then who's going to respect you trying to implement or execute certain legal actions on them? And I think that's the catch-22 with the current leadership of the House. And of course, so every time, like today is Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Prepare yourself for another noisy environment.
So we can transition to something, but let's take a brief off, and then we'll come back. We can transition to our diplomatic file and see what we can take from there. Okay, so let's take a break. Okay, yeah.
One more freedom.
fuerza que no se tuve. Que no vamos a ver, vamos a ver, vamos a freedom fuerza que no se tuve. When they welcome me, they say they were freedom fighters. When they welcome me, they say they were labor.
I don't know whether the militants in the CDC have
They changed their mind.
a jingle or an ad that they created for their program for publicity purpose.
What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
Probably Abu may have knowledge about that, but I don't have any knowledge about that or any content or material created and shared around for publicity purpose.
Turn our country.
But Sopeno has asked Sopeno say you should not carry. They said Sopeno say you should not carry junkie account. I can imagine Sopeno in Grange there and the militants are in Grange there. I don't want to miss that location. Grange there will be upside down, hot, engaging. The pros and cons, the for and against, the jolly people,
When they welcome me, they say
the
they
prayerful people.
When they welcome me, they say they were liberators. But when they give their ground, they change their mind. When they give their ground,
Everybody will be in Grange there.
their mind. What?
Abu, are you going, by the way?
So, just a few things I wanted to just chip in, and then we can go to our conversation. You know, this morning
No, I asked you, are you going Grange there?
we'll come to that. You already
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you destroy our country.
They are freedom fighters.
Why you don't want to answer the question? It's just a yes or no question. Are you going?
Don't rush, relax. I'll give you
Oh,
all
yeah,
the
yo, ayo, ayo.
Okay. So we know Grange there is going to be charged, politically charged, next week. But whatever the case, we wish everybody well. We know what the men, what the young men and women are capable of doing. Their mobilization strength. And I would not be surprised to see the turnout in Grange there.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Oh, I'm on you.
I'm a freedom fighter.
My freedom fighter, I'm
a freedom fighter.
my freedom fighter, in your duty back.
I'm a freedom
My
fighter.
freedom fighter, in your people.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Ayo.
Okay, so we can bring this one down and have a studio chat. Then we can transition to other things. Okay, welcome back. It's good to have all of you joining us. Those of you on our Facebook Live, we could not recognize you, welcome you as we usually do in the morning because yes, our schedule was so conflicting this morning a little bit because we had to make a late or time, any change in the schedule. But again, all of you, we appreciate you joining us on the show this morning. What you're talking about, I see what you're going to you say you want to provide all of the information because you're best placed and suited to provide the information. So I will provide the information about Grange there. Say he's best placed.
best placed to answer all of the questions that you want to obviously throw at me. But what I wanted to say for
I one question I'll throw at you. As well,
I'll also give you the opportunity to throw more.
I want you to say you want. Are you going Grange there?
Yeah, in case you get other one, you can come with it to answer.
So the question is, are you going Grange there? For me, I'm not going.
Here's what I wanted to say. This morning, for your information purposes, I think you saw it also. The president made, a mini reshuffle, right? Especially affecting the Ministry of State and the
Governance
National Investment
Commission.
Right? He swapped around. Honorable Jeff Blibo now goes in as
Economic
the
advisor.
economic and investment advisor to the president. Why Molly Kamara, Honorable Molly Kamara goes now as head of the National Investment Commission with one Miss Caroline Anguissa or something as the executive director. If you know how the structuring of the National Investment Commission operates, so that's for you. So you raised this point about Zoe Penal.
He also constituted a board.
The implementation board for some 200
infrastructure road construction team.
255 kilometers of road to be constructed. So that one is a whole conversation by itself. So I mean, after all this issue about Wubiro, and then there's set up begin to start building road and all of that. So Zoe, I listened to Zoe, and then the only thing I could say to that was it was demeaning, disrespectful, but it's okay, right? But it's intended to create distraction. So ever since the pronouncement was made, I think on the 12th or 14th of May, that the CDC was going to, commemorate its events in Grand Jida County, Zoe has been feeling very, very uneasy. He has deployed every strategy to undermine in his small mind, to undermine the program or its efficiency. He has gone at the local level and he has been resisted, and he just don't know what to do at this point. And that the time has come so very close, and they are confused because they want to know what the strategies are. They want to know how the program is going to go about, but they can't lay their hands on anything. So he jumps out, to offer or say that to the public. But again, that is a result of, elevating, individuals' incapacity that are way bigger than who they are. Zoe Penal, a high school, degenerate. So you can understand. You take that man, you made him senator for a very beautiful county like Grand Jida with very educated people over the period. These utterances expose the robbery that have happened, the democratic robbery, robbing the people of quality leaders and all of that. But the mere fact that the regime can use Zoe as their chief strategist in Grand Jida exposes that indeed the regime has no penetration strategy in Grand Jida County. Now, Grand Jida has been a challenge for Unity Party ever since we returned to democratic, dispensation in our country. So at this time, you realize that, or you want to think that, UP will try to adapt, strategies to see how we can penetrate, infiltrate. Like 2023, CDC did that. In Lofa has been a challenge when they took the mantle of authority. They designed strategy to penetrate Lofa, and they improved their numerical political number in Lofa compared to previous years. So, but then let's look at Unity Party approach towards Grand Jida, and see. And then they use Zoe, right? And Zoe speaks outlandish comments and remarks about the party and talks things that makes no real sense to the layman to understand that, he's coming from a position of, strength and all of that, made wild allegations. But then counter those allegations, when CDC was arguing in Lofa that the Unity Party you've been voting for have not done anything for you, the CDC initiated the construction of a paved road to Lofa County. When the CDC was arguing that, the CDC was paving streets in Lofa and lighting up Lofa County and cities in Lofa. When the CDC was arguing that, the CDC was recognizing the potentials in Lofa and providing political leadership opportunity to Lofians. But you hired a zoo to go there and be speaking and just talking loosely, and you think you can do anything in Grand Jida to thwart anything. But this morning, that's besides the point. I want to in my capacity as the co-chair on communication for the Central Organizing Committee of the CDC 22nd anniversary celebrations in Grand Jida County. I'd like to assure all of you, Liberians, that yes, Liberia's biggest mass-based political opposition program remains set for the 23rd, and that everything will go on. The shock of 2026 that will set the stage for the redemption revolution will be launched in Grand Jida County. And the county is upbeat. The grassroots base is excited and they are waiting. So, and it's going to be a very great occasion that you don't want to miss. I mean, if you ask me, I'll tell you whatever you're doing in Monrovia, you can catch that 1 week in Grand Jida County and feel the fun and feel the essence and learn the purpose of where we are going. People see this thing like, oh, no. It's going to be way more than that. So there's going to be lots and lots of things going on. It will provide you an opportunity. The events in Grand Jida will provide the general Liberian public an opportunity, right? As the CDC will be providing a retrospective position, recounting the formation of the party. In there, you understand the motivations. Because most times, a lot of us are into politics, we just jump wear political party t-shirts, it has to be guarded by basic values and principles. So that is not just a jamboree as anybody want to make it to look. That is not just a celebration. That is a national occasion to reset the clock. Right? To remarket the movement to you. It has been 22 years, decades, 2 decades plus. And there are a lot of young people coming out. So it's going to be a moment to learn, unlearn, relearn, and have a clear, broad perspective of this organization, the Congress for Democratic Change. So the celebration in Grand Jida will afford you that space. And you want to join in. You want to go there and be a part. It's not only going to stop there. The CDC has been an institution that recognizes people, sacrifices, who they are, their contributions and all that. And the organizers have said that there will be an honoring event to honor the legacy, contributions, and sacrifices of men and women. And those martyrs that lost their life in the struggle will be repeatedly recognized. A philosopher says an unexamined life is not worth living. And the CDC continues to demonstrate that no matter what, come what may, we will always look back to see where we are coming from. This is going to be a reflective moment. The political party that has been in existence here way before the CDC, we barely hear about these things. But guess what? The moment the CDC executes this anniversary's commemoration, you start to hear, copycat political institution and talking about, we got to do our own. And so we also, when CDC talk about headquarter construction, the copycat then went and say, headquarter construction. So like the former president have always said, the CDC builds what they break. So the CDC leads and then they follow. The CDC is about to introduce another dynamic to the Liberian political space, where people will be recognizing, respecting the sacrifices. You suffer, your man suffer with them. They can't even recognize you. CDC said no. Go back there. Let's go to Zulu whiskey. Let's go to the base. Let's go to the people. Let's go to the southeast. There'll be a moment for discussions, and these discussions are going to focus on what a lot of you should really get around to understand. Major contributions and achievements of the CDC as a ruling party. For the 6 years that Liberian gave CDC the chance as a ruling party, the anniversary celebration is going to focus and highlight major achievements. You know, when the CDC was around, there was a lot of propaganda, and the Unity Party brags that its strength is in propaganda. That is to tell you, the Liberian people, that they are deceivers, they are liars, they are dishonest people. They do not respect you, and they believe that they have to concoct lies and misinformation and deceive you and keep you, keep you macro-managed. That's what they brag. The biggest brag of the Unity Party is to say that they are sophisticated propagandists. CDC doesn't do that. CDC says, while we were focused on governance, reconstruction, reconciliation, rebuilding, the distractors were there peddling propaganda. So now that we have enough time, in commemoration of our over 2 years, 2 decades of existence, we want to recount our time as an opposition movement, and of course, our time as a ruling government, to tell you and communicate to you and put it before you, and the fast checkers will be there. So these are great opportunities. Then there will be a moment to highlight and strengthen the party's unity, like a form of internal party unity or reconciliation, right? Re-emphasizing the philosophical basis of the CDC movement and its strategy going forward, right? And then the CDC is not just going to leave from there talking about itself and the history and its contribution and all of that, or schooling the masses on the purpose and the reason for which. If you have a choice to make, you must consider the CDC grounded in its philosophy and its mass-based political, ideological leaning. As a major opposition political party in the country, the CDC will use that constructive democratic space to proffer critique of the Bouakas rule. Critique of the Bouakas rule. For all those that have been complaining, oh, the CDC is not talking, the CDC is not doing this. The CDC's approach to politics and governance in opposition should not be measured by the terroristic style and approach of the Unity Party in opposition, out of power, fermenting domestic terroristic activities, indoctrinating young people into hating their country, and throwing petrol bombs around the country, defaming the reputation and image of the country, lobbying against the progress and forward march of the country. The CDC said, no, we're not going to be into that. We're a different institution. We recognize the years of suffering, neglect, and abandonment that the ordinary people have gone through in this 21st century. No, that's not going to be an approach. You may say, oh, that's being quiet. That's being this. The CDC is not going to kowtow into affirming the perception and stereotype that it is a violent-driven political party. And that's why the opposition to the CDC are disappointed. Because their views is that the CDC is hostile, is there and that. That's the stereotype that they've peddled for years. That's the brand. that they've put on people who are seditious in the organization. And then they are extremely disappointed even after the party have lost power, right? The party is now doing these things that they accuse the party of. And they're saying, what this is going to be exposing. We told the Liberian people that the CDC people can be burning tire, blacking rule, putting opposition. The time we expect them to validate that, they are not doing it. They have been constructive. They have been democratic. They have been responsible. It will expose our strategy. It will expose our narrative against the CDC. So yes, the party will assemble to critique Mr. Bouakar's rule of the country for the period, looking at governance. What has been governance since Mr. Bouakar took over? The rule of law. What's the measure, respect for the rule of law, the entire environment? How does it look like? And experts will be there to talk about this. A panel style conversation. You don't want to miss Grand Jida County. Provision of basic social services delivery. We'll talk about that. Critiquing the arrest agenda. Right? And of course, these conversations are going to happen inclusive of the broad-based opposition political parties or spectrum in our country. I cannot divulge to you the list of individuals that will be there, but trust me, Grand Jida is going to. So the 2029 comeback is going to come. The wave is going to pick up from Grand Jida County to hit Monrovia, and I can assure you that. So don't jitter, don't panic. Prepare yourself. Folks are already beginning or preparing to start leaving over this weekend. And yes, indeed, join in. If you're disappointed about what is going on in your country, you're misled, deceived, or probably you do not have a full understanding of what CDC is. You live in a bubble with a controlled narrative and viewpoint about what the CDC is. This is going to afford you the opportunity to know the institution, know the organization, know the individual, know their motivation. Know their motivation. It's important that whatever organization you're in, you know, why was this organization established? What's the objective of this organization? What have this organization done? Since the secession and return of democracy, multi-party democracy in our country after the war, the Liberian people have given the CDC 6 years. The CDC will afford you an opportunity to understand the CDC outside of governance and inside of governance for 6 years. So they put you under the impression that all of Liberia's problems that have not been solved, it is the CDC that should have solved it in 6 years. But there are people that have had well over 10 years, 15 to 18 years now, running the affairs, signing the concessions, entering deals, mortgaging the resources of this country. So, Grand Jida affords an opportunity to hear the CDC truth. So you can come there and learn. The doubting Thomases can also come and learn and enrich their opinion and perspective of the direction of the CDC. Yes, their desire is for the CDC to, mind you, don't get it twisted. The CDC remains very engaging, very critical, very forceful. But to want to see the CDC involved into the very things that the Unity Party was doing here, and to you, that's the only thing that would justify the comeback. I believe in the wisdom of the leadership of the CDC today. No. Many times I've listened to the chairman, Jangako, say that the regime, right, will fail on its own. What was the war? He always uses a word there. Meaning the regime will fail on its own credentials. Meaning, based on what you will do, the Liberian people will see it. The CDC is not going to pull fear and start burning tires here and start attacking people and start doing this. And you say, oh, and we tell you, then use the CDC as an excuse. The CDC is not the only opposition political party in the country. Have you asked yourself, why they always want the CDC to be the one to organize protests? Why does organization of protests has to always be the responsibility of CDC? CDC say, we have not seen or we have not decided or we believe the Liberian people should make a decision on their own. And when the decision is genuine, we give our endorsement to it. But to fix this country is to allow the people the opportunity to see for themselves where the problems are. To see for themselves where the deceptions lies. To see for themselves where the hypocrisy is. And then when the people are making decisions at that point, there is no way there can be an external influence or interference in the decision or the outcome that they will come with. So Chairman Glebo Brown, through the wisdom of Chairman Glebo Brown, the Central Committee Chair, the organizers have completed all of what it has got to do. And of course, movements are already happening. Yes, there have been a lot of publicity, citizen-driven publicity going on, guided by the Central Committee. And so these things are going on. The jingles will be available. You listen to it all. It will be dropped at different media organizations. But at this point, I think in the perspective of the CDC, they want to remain unpredictable. And, you know, so that tells you how important the 2029 issues are going to be like. So, I mean, the strategies are there, the political strategies are there, and they choose at a particular time. You know, the party has existed for enough period to learn and understand, adjust and readjust and redefine its approach and the way it moves with certain things. And I believe, I think that's how they're handling this anniversary celebration. And so we look forward to seeing you there. To my brother question, I wanted him to be back and then I can respond to the question. And then my brother asked what I will be there. Certainly, certainly I will be there to see history being made and to see us also helping to bring the message from the southeast of Monrovia. There's been a lot of doubt. There's been a lot of confusion on how does the Southeast stands currently with the CDC now in opposition and with the Unity Party. So we're interested in going to know what the message is, and of course we'll be part of the folks to bring that for you. I'm open and willing to contribute that time. I think it will be for 3 or 4 days. So next week maybe I'll be here on Monday, and then the rest of the day I'll be joining my man from Zulu Whiskey.
Zulu Whiskey. But you see, the expectation about the CDC going to Grange there, for me, it's like the CDC is going home. So if the Unity Party was going to Grange there or the ANC, I will be looking out to see the level of turnout, to see the exuberance, to see the reception from the locals, how they are going to receive the Unity Party or how they are going to receive the ANC and all of that. But I can sit down here and go to bed and say the Grange that will receive the CDC overwhelmingly. The euphoria is going to be exciting and interesting and encouraging. The CDC is going home. The CDC is going home. It's
I
going
agree.
home.
I agree with you.
So yeah, the CDC
But
is going
you
home.
know, that's
So-
the mixture of the guys. They say
So those who think
what the ruling party has done in the 2 year to 3 year, they say they have turned the Taliban in cringy there, and there was all those narrative and all that. So it's going to be a testing moment.
during the
You say
election,
you have
they-
invaded the
see,
mayor house
yes,
already.
the CDC didn't. I mean, the UP didn't invest a lot, whether it's resources and time in the Southeast. And you follow that because the UP realized that hey, going in the Southeast, that's going to be a waste of our time. The CDC, Mr. Weah, is going to. I mean, so let's focus on what we consider our strongholds and see what we can increase the votes there that can outpower the votes, the entire accumulation in the Southeast and all of that. So, and I don't think the UP might want to again start a fight or a battle in the Southeast for votes of a number. So I don't think their attention will be heavily driven or focused in the Southeast. That is open on their own. They are doing that only to impress. The UP that's open on New Jew. So he wants to impress, behave, carry himself in a manner, a form that show that he's
So
fighting.
that means the
Is
South is
he-
out of their strategic planning.
Yes, the South is out of the Unity Party strategic planning, obviously. So I think so is wasting his time. And even some of the lawmakers in the Southeast who are aligning with the Unity Party, I can say clearly they are wasting their time. It's going to be disastrous for them. But the UP will not say to them that, oh, hey, you guys are wasting your time.
But the UP say they're
The UP is
making
energy. They have to,
infrastructure intervention.
You feel like June, she has to make the men feel that I mean I enjoy it so now I do the so yeah, I enjoy your work. So I enjoy your activity. Yeah, so we can make it, That's what they're doing the zoo. But deep down they know they're not going to waste their time in
So
their
it's very
resources there.
unpopular in Green City.
And aside from his unpopularity, I think he needs to, whether it's possible now, I think he needs to come to his political senses if he ever has some. Because you need strategy. So knows his strategy that worked for him in 2005. He knows the strategy that worked for him in 2011. He knows it. No, he's aware. He's aware.
So,
So
you're
to
trying
keep
be
my
combative.
yes. So the calculation is let me be combative. Who are you going to combat? It can be the two senators. I mean his Cody senator and the TD law representatives. Obviously, the most popular political brain in Grand there is the CDC. So you have to walk away from the CDC, which he did. And walking away, you can be silent. Staying silent outside the CDC and staying silent as a politician is like trying to score an own goal. So to maintain my visibility in the county, let me continue or consistently attack the CDC. Is that a smart move by him? No. Mark my word, the UP is not going to give Zopenon their ticket for re-election. The UP would not give Zopenon ticket. There's not Zofa not supporting the Unity Party. They didn't give him the ticket. They will not do this time around. So you can see that I think he's in the wilderness, and so he has my man. You can't be quiet and say, my man, you feeling, man.
He's drowning.
Yeah, so
Zoe.
let me just show that doing something, I'm acting and all of that. But that's
so can only pass to
yeah.
Swedru right now.
Exactly. The other day I'm told they boo him in Swedru a vehicle.
They make him pull a vehicle.
The other time I'm told also he had to disguise himself in a vehicle, but he was still detected. And then they had to chase the vehicle and all of that. So it's a challenge for him. And I told people, some of the men are good to say small thing about them, just so that, so they can go unnoticed. People, we have to coexist. The same way we believe that the CDC people are not supposed to be ruthless against the opposition people, those who see themselves as opposition, you can be ruthless and disrespectful to the CDC too. You can't disagree with them. the same way they are disagreeing with you. But you try to make your disagreement or tell your disagreement in a form and manner that intimidate or humiliate the other side. That's where the anger and hate come in, because people want to show strength. It gets physical to some extent, then it becomes rowdy. You can start condescending of people in a manner and form. Those are young people going to Grand G there, and you ascribing a particular bad habit to them. But you want them to respect you when they are in Grand G there. If they don't respect you, they say, oh, CDC people. You can do that. You can be leader of the county. People are going to the county. The county is already divided on political line, personal lines and things. And then instead of trying to consolidate, if I was so, I would play smart. My man come here, my former friend. And that's what they don't. It's always eating show on most of these politicians. This would not have been Darius Dillon. No. They don't never be in Grand G there, and yes, a CDC militants going there, then he start attacking them.
But they don't get small education.
They don't
compared to Zoo.
Because if you try to make it, jovial or what have you, but my man, when I agree with my man coming or my former friend and come here, so I'm staying in the country to welcome them before I leave. You pacify them, or a particular terrain of the CDC will definitely say, oh, okay. They may come to the sense that, oh, the men are our friend, even though he now all again. But you're starting a war. You're starting a war that you cannot sustain. That's a smart strategy for him. Indirectly, is that he's fighting his regime. That's what he's saying. That's what he's doing. And he knows what the role Zreju has played in keeping him in the legislature. But now Zoe have been a drug dealer. I'm telling you. So just imagine if Zreju had not stood with Zoe in 2011. Because he only performed from 2006 to 2010. He only performed. So just imagine has Zreju now stand with him or stood with him. So he got skill to work. Or maybe he was going to be sitting on somebody's boat and passing around, getting 2,000. He wouldn't be living the life he's living today. So you have to think. And there's a life after the Senate.
So
what do you do with your life?
Yes.
What do you do with your life after the Senate? What do you do with your life after the Senate? Even after the Senate, Alfonso Gay is still living, surviving on his professional skills. Marshall Dennis is living and surviving on his professional skills and maintaining his relationship with the CDC, even in opposition, all of the Senate. That's the strength of being an independent person. You don't have to be insulting Joe Weah, insulting CDC when you leave the CDC. You don't have to insult Joe Baga or insult Unity Party when you leave the Unity Party. They don't start politics me, I don't know it, but where you here today, you leave, then you start cursing. You start insulting, you start attacking. Tomorrow is reunion. Let's reunite. Then you come back. Oh, we apologize. Dr. Peter Como said when you return to the CDC that cerebral malaria. He said, oh yeah, you're suffering from cerebral malaria. He described. Who said that? They will use these descriptions to appease the sentiments and the emotions of the followers of the political parties and the political leaders. Because for fear that the strength of the resentments from the followers of these political leaders, might just harm or endanger them. So they can start saying all kinds of things. But yeah, Abu says Zoe may not be inclined to that level, or actually our level to A. I mean, I want to our level to him, but Zoe may not be inclined enough to understand these things. Dirty politics can be for people with gray hair. And, you can be having gray hair, then you be doing dirty politics or engaging in dirty politics.
Or with all your years in the legislature, you still be standing.
Young people,
amateur,
yes,
young men, stuff. So it's just further exposing the robbery. That's what I said. So it's a classic definition of democratic robbery for the people of Nigeria County.
You see young people then do radical politics and things. You can understand that they're still young and they're trying to grow, develop and think. But you can be wearing gray hair all around, all over your face, and then you stay engaging into dirty politics, or you want to start attacking personality. How many senators you see involved into personality attack? Amakone is angry. He's displeased with a lot of things. Do you see him going personal with people? Jan Tonya had issues of recent, a lot of issues with him. Did you see him insulting or going personal with people? No. You will not see them. That place is Senate. They say the House of Elders. The House of Elders represents wisdom, sense, maturity, responsibility, sense of reasoning, sense of belonging, sense of... you have to have that. All of those qualities. Not just possessing those qualities, but putting them out, showcasing those qualities. That the people, the citizens will say, yes, this man is a leader. Kafari was superintendent under the CDC government for Grand Gide. When Yeke, a member of the CPP, went to Grand Gide to campaign, what kind of education Kafari has? Not trying to be, condescending of him. He's a good friend. We speak almost every day. But Kafari went to the hotel when young people tried to attack Yeke, express their resentment against his utterances about George Weah. Kafari walked to that hotel where Yeke was being lodged. Welcome. Spoke on camera and welcomed Yeke to Grand Gide. And quiet. Or try to quiet the noise. Reduce the tension and calm it. That's wisdom. That's leadership. Kafari can do that. Who should be a smaller brother or small brother to Zo? And you, Zo, you're so obsessed with your own decision. Nobody force you. You be that kind of beg you to join them. No. Nobody in UP asked Zo Peno to resign, to leave CDC, to denounce his support for the CDC. Nobody. So willingly denounce his support to the CDC and announce his support or declare his support for the Unity Party. Nobody from UP asked Zo to start cursing John Weah or cursing CDC. He's trying to play this impressionist politics because he know the man he opening up to him too much now. So he needs that convenience.
But what?
So that means start attacking.
Yeah, beyond the politics, you're senator, but you have to bring something on the table.
Yes.
You enter the room, for example, let's say UP invites Zo in the room to kind of talk about strategy and stuff. Then you get that. What you get it offer?
I will go to
the military chair. I tell the military chair, Joe, we are permitting. Somebody sitting looking at it and no, they may get nothing. Yeah, and it was
because I just read, I think the Liberian investigator or one newspaper republishing and reporting. So they don't say he will resign his job. If anybody can point to one project that the CDC government completed in his region.
You say that's your UP minister laugh at you.
Because you were the ones spearheading and leading all UP activities, CDC activity in Grand Gide. So if you sat there under your watch and projects were started and did not get completed, that's an own goal. So what did you do as senator in the county all the years? As representatives all the years? That the government initiated projects in your county and the projects did not get completed. What did you do? You have oversight responsibility. You were the most influential and well-connected lawmaker from Grand Gide to all the governments. Nobody did business with any lawmaker in our county more than Zo Peno when Eddie was president for 12 years. Nobody did. No lawmaker did business with the CDC government for 6 years. She was in power. Then Zopeno. 18 years we're talking about. 18 years as lawmaker in the country, and you come back. He said the same thing when Eddie left. That Eddie didn't complete any project in Grange. No significant investment or development was taken.
He keeps indicting himself in
Yes,
Sako.
in Sako. Joe, we are there again. They did business with you.
When Joe Weah
You come back, you say nothing's there. So when Joe Weah come out in 2029, or Cummins comes in 2029, you go again and say the same thing again. You say UP President Bwaka did not complete any project in Grange there. And you think the UP folks are going to take you seriously? They will not. They will not take you seriously. In fact, even before declaring support for George Weah, UP people did not take you seriously. They knew you were not a serious guy. They knew. It's not take you seriously. And our leaders must start to project themselves in a manner that will be in a manner that seems respectable. So that you can have a respect. It's not just about having a seat at the table. It's about having a respectable seat at the table. When they say this is Zoe's seat, this is Austin's seat, that nobody will come and sit and take the seat and say, "Madam, can you sit down this time, man?" So your seat may be there, but the seat does not have respect. Is there everybody go to the UN General Assembly? Everybody can see respect. UN General Assembly? No. Liberia saying that, Guinea Bissau saying that, Guinea saying that, France saying that. You know now. You know what the attention will be. So you have to project yourself in that manner that will rally respect for your own personality. I'm not concerned about your activities. Your utterances, they're not moving anybody. They don't shake anybody. Your soul doesn't have the capacity to destroy any political party or any politician using his utterances. No, he ain't got that capacity. So nobody is moved by your criticism. You did the same to UP. You did it to CDC. You did it to UP. UP come by, you doing it to CDC. You know the whole country power now is just cycling between UP and the CDC. So the possibility is around 98% that so will do the same thing to the UP tomorrow if the UP does not win in 2029. I mean, that's just, I think we take a few calls, right? And then we go home. But I don't think so. You know, so it's one person who had never all the years I covered Capitol building. There were lawmakers who never attracted me, who are never, even if they were having press conference, I never attended that press conferences. Yeah. Yes, there were some lawmakers whose press conferences I never attended. And so number one. One people from River Cess used to be senator too, Francis P. Those are people who I never attended that press conference. Another representative too from River Cess. I forgot his name. I'll get his name. Because man, you can go for news. You can be chasing news and you carry microphone to men as well. You know the man when I made news. Yeah. And, you know. So that's a fact.
And news have sense.
Oh yeah.
So if you don't have a
to
capacity
make news have to make sense.
Yeah. So
it's not just about you talking.
The man would rather carry a microphone somewhere where when you come out, you know, your editor sees it. So you know when people are able to predict you like that as a leader, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And so it's extremely drowning. There are a lot of issues, there are a lot of questions that the people of Grange has for Zoe that he has not been able to answer. And he believes the only way to keep himself protected from these queries is to remain in power. And the way he thinks he can achieve that, align with the regime, and, you know, single far behind whatever thing the regime is doing in the country and try to draw sentiment and support from that. But this, you know, UP return to power has been an opportunity to expose Zoe terribly that even people that have been supporting him before are not even thinking about Zoe. Granjida have moved past Zoe. They're just waiting for time now. So that all that he knows he can be making, I don't even let him waste airtime on it. Because you are not a contender 2029. The people are not calculating you. They're not thinking about it. They do not even see you. And even the Unity Party is trying to appease. The Unity Party is still looking for constructive and strategies that can come out with a real and quality penetration model. How do we penetrate? I was just talking about CDC and experience in Lofa. So Zoe, how can you make similar thing happen for UP in Grange there?
No, it's not possible. UP has a bad experience with so, and I know that because I was in Grange there in 2011 campaign during the campaign.
Okay.
It had to take Madina we said to leave from here to go to Grange there to work to do some work for the UP to intensify the campaign in Grange there. I know that for a fact. Ronnie C knows the story.
Why
Okay?
he ate campaign money?
No, not necessarily eating money, but the strategy you're talking about.
Mhm.
Who was the campaign chair for UP in 2011 in for Grange there? It was Zoe. What was the result?
Terrible. Disastrous.
Okay.
Terrible.
So
you tell that kind of people to go
who
back.
spearheaded the campaign for the CDC in Grange there in 2017? It was not so, right?
Mhm.
What happened to this? What happened to the UP? So among the 19 senators that endorsed President Boakai, right?
Yeah,
In 2017. And so among the 19 senators that endorsed Joseph Boakai in 2017. How did the result end up in Grange then? So headed the campaign team for President Salif in 2011. The CDC won over 70% of the votes in Grange there. So Peno was amongst the 19 senators that endorsed President Boakai, then former vice president, in 2017. The result was really appalling because he's won more than 85% of the vote. So when you're saying, so popular, so can give you Nima, I mean, deliver Grange there, so can deliver Grange there, I can't be laughing. Like, no, they're not following his performance. They're not following his performance. Campaign chair, CDC won over 65% of the vote. Declare support to President Boakai, CDC won over 85% of the vote in Grange there. That the man, somebody say, can deliver can deliver Grange there to CDC or to UP? I think you did that thing. Yeah, you did that one. I would say, let us on the yes. Yeah, 0776. Let's speak 5 calls and then we can go home. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104. We can take a few calls, 5 questions or six, depending on the length of time you can speak for. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, let's hear you.
Yeah, this is my brother from the old room.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that people you don't know Sopenu and know Sopenu. Sopenu, number one, I will not blame anybody. I blame Sopenu. I blame our people. You see that will be careful who they put on his party. Because Sopenu wasn't a city continuum. The Sopenu was independent. Now, independent. For 2005.
Mm-hmm.
As Sopenu started, we know it. Hear me, yeah? Sopenu, 2005. I was a contender. Sopenu has a strategy that he always used. Sopenu so independent, you get that. Sopenu. 2005, Sopenu supported Terry. So, 2011. Sopenu top people from Africa. Time for election. Sopenu will go. For the old people there, picture, we have picture, that is football, picture, that photo.
Yeah.
He put it on his car, he put it there. That why he put him using running campaign. Then it is open for Georgia. That is so cool there. You hear me? That's open guy elected 2024. That strategy to talk that is open can use. That is strategy, that one is strategy. Then he says Georgia photo. That one he used to win. After he won, then that he won, he was open was supporting Ellie, Unity Party as a whole.
Yeah.
I want people. CDC, the leadership. You see, we got to ready try to put on, they can put on a political cap. That shade, that flashing that we see. Edward Lawrence, he did that thing. Yogi Kaga Hospital. That man was, you know, he was different price for him. They took the money. Yeah, they told that money going on the CC ticket. See how that man demonstrated against CC and in the world. That had that definitely after we done before. But I never on CC back. I will be on a back ticket. You get on it. That is things open. So
Okay.
this opening he came after he got tired with this and something.
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right now. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, Abu. I need to give back money for chicken to party. Why you see the issue of so pen on so in my pen and the bastard is so many country and there is so many stuff. So pen was defeated for the book here, but it's a joint election that he gets the country by the master then.
Yeah. And it makes it popular.
Yeah, and the city are very serious also. But the issue of the representative where he can get the house killed so better for right in people may not understand. So he has set aside for the Nana coming. So he's thinking that president they're going to grant them for the party, they're going to join somebody that he's looking at, so he wants to cost here.
Thank you. Next person, go ahead. Let's hear you quickly.
Thank you. Good morning to Mr. Sherry.
Morning.
Yes, Soldering, and this is the first edition since you guys started on the collaboration. Yeah, thanks for those standard deliberations on the talking point. So I was just following.
Who's on the line?
Yes, this is Hussein. Hussein Killed. I call you from the compound of the National Transit Authority.
Okay.
Yes, so listening a fair analysis. So, you know, it's always obvious. Look, one person's I've always reference to is Gabriel Yinka. A veteran politician in our body politics, formerly of District 11. Gabriel Yinka was the United Party representative in 2011.
Who's in post key in your stuff so we can go home with us. Already 10 o'clock, please.
Yeah, so you always find those people cross the different political institutions. But to find the committed ones, just few of them. Mm-hmm. You know, nothing. One person that I do trust in politics in Liberia is the one Congo. But just unfortunately, I didn't go on the show yesterday. One person, the old man is very consistent. And he's one of those persons that, motivate a lot of young people in the country.
Thank you, Hussein. Thank you. Man, Sisi, go ahead, close. We're closing with you.
This is Abu and Austin. How you doing?
We're fine.
Yeah, in every community, in every society, you will find people that will be fluctuating. What happens in our country? They make us open, we're not consistent. Or suddenly say people they are better people there and say, oh, you're not anybody, you're not doing one. People they are better drinking, what is social, what they hang their phone. You understand it?
No, we said don't do it, say they do it, you talking they do it.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I take it back. So people look at what you that they will not go in the country because it's for himself. He made that country. No. We are citizens and we are Liberians. Everybody have the right to go in any country and the Virginian they are Liberians. Enough for him, enough for Virginia. Nobody will go there for CDC. No. You get all those things. Because so far you couldn't win election, but you have one certificate and you just your picture before you win election. So let's see how some turn to the nine. Let's see what you will win. So let's go now on your ticket. If you can't, you
Masi, your money finish. Now me call you, Abu. We have to go, bro.
Yeah, we definitely have to go, and it has been for me a very wonderful week. And so the way I like to go home is a scary reminder to all of us in this cocaine case. It's unfortunate we report that we're hearing the whistleblower is alarming and reporting exposure and danger, which is very, very dangerous. And I believe the government should provide some degree of protection for the whistleblower, because we might need the individual as some sort of state witness, and all of that going forward when the state reaches the point where we'll start to prosecute. And it's dangerous to the person's life. So if we can conceal the identity of perpetrators or suspects, then why are we exposing the whistleblowers? It just tells you how confused everything is going on in the country. But it has been wonderful. Obviously, we'll be here next week. Until that time, I'd like to say bye-bye from my end.
And there is a whistleblower and witness protection act. Yes, that was passed. There are compensations for these kinds of violations, that reveal or expose whistleblowers to risks. So we'll use the weekend break to review the laws and see what's in it, and then we can maybe start to tailor our advocacy or our conversation from that angle, because he's at risk, and how did his identity get out? Who revealed his identity and all of that? Even those who publishing, and I see that a media entity even published the photo. I'm like, no, they say the thing wrong. So you want to report the story, cover the man's face, but you reveal the man's face.
But these are the media.
Then you tell it. Then you tell the public that somebody revealed the man's, the whistleblower's identity, and you too put a picture on your front page without covering the face.
So what do you think the cartel will do?
You are expanding, you are exposing, you are elevating the violation. In fact, you are increasing the risks. You mean so? But anyway, like we said, we have to go.
And I think our friend Christopher Peters, they highlighted. He said, "Laverne journalism. A paper publishes a story claiming the life of a whistleblower is at serious risk. Yet the paper unmarks. That paper unmarks provides the full name,
everything,
right? The picture of the whistleblower in the same breath of the publication. Tell me,
I'm like, what is that?
These are the egregious editorial, ethical breaches in the work we do. But people they leave the ones, they start targeting people views. What? They start targeting people, a position on government, that what they can consider, unprofessional. But you see, this kind of dangerous journalism, they ain't talking about it. But soon, Abu Sherry, Obi and Moiseau, Freedom FM. You see, so this is bad, man. I don't know, but the people slip. They got to. I don't know how they're going to correct this one, but it's terrible. We can't be doing that.
We can't be doing that. The voice of Abu Sharif. Let me say thanks to all of you for following us this morning. We are taking our week's break to be back on next week. But until we see next week, do have yourselves pleasant moments in your respective terrains. My name is Austin Kawa, and Abu Sharif was here. Bye-bye.
They say they were liberator, but when they kill their ground, they change their mind. When they kill their ground, they change their mind. What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you raping our women.
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you killing our children.
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you destroying our country.
They are freedom fighters.
Ayo, 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 ayo.